So, surprise live. See if somebody shows up. I didn't announce I was doing this. I was just kind of in the mood for it and had a little time. So, thought I would go live. Do I have any viewers? Let's see. Um, yeah, so I didn't announce this. And if it's good, you know, if people tune in and ask some good questions, I will leave it up on my YouTube page. But if it doesn't, I will act like this never happened. So, fire away your questions. Hello, I may show some records as I generally usually do. Hey, yo, got some people, got some people coming on in here. How's it going, y'all? Um, I have, as usual, um, a lot of things sitting around records. My night is going pretty well. Uh, just hanging at home. Just got the kids to bed a little while ago and uh, had a pretty good day. Just chilling. Sundays is pretty much my only day off, and so today I just like chilled with the family and had a good time. All that stuff. Hey Jerry, let me try to answer as many of these as I can. Oh man, let me look. So somebody asked how I like the George Harrison All Things Must Pass remaster. Man, I love it. I was telling the story on my Instagram page. I remember the first time I found this, the original pressing that I have, which is here. I was at a yard sale, and I believe this is even the same one. Really good shape. I was at a yard sale, and there was a box of records there, and they were 25 cents each. And I grabbed that, and I was like, heck yeah! I took it to the guy that was in charge of the art sale, and I gave him 25 cents. He's like, no, dude, this is 75 cents because there's 3 discs. And I was so pissed that I had to pay 75 cents for this thing when it's only, I thought I was gonna get it for a quarter. And then I got home and I was like, oh man, this is definitely worth 75 cents. It's so good. I was probably like, I don't know, 14 or 15, something like that. But anyways, this sounds fantastic. I haven't got to the bonus stuff yet, but I'll listen to the first two sides, and it sounds amazing. Um, which, side note, there's a documentary called All Things Must Pass, and it's about Tower Records, the records chain. Um, and I watched that one day while I was at work, the last job I had, and I decided then and there I was going to start a record store. I didn't know when it was going to happen, but I was like, at some point in my life, I'm going to have to start a record store. So that's just like the straw that broke the camel's back. I was like, I got to do this. This is so cool here in the story. But anyways, let me read some questions. Um, do I ever sleep? A lot of people ask that. I um I do sleep, and I'm trying to get more sleep because I hear it's good for you to sleep. I currently sleep about 4 to 6 hours a night. I try to get at least four, and sometimes six. I'm getting older. When I was younger, I could do it a lot better, and so now it hurts me a little bit to sleep any less than 4 hours. But sometimes I get like 2 hours, but sometimes I get like eight. So it's all. I try to. I do try to average six if I can, but I do stay up late and wake up early. That is the name of the game. So let's see. What city is your record store located in? I am in Matthews, North Carolina. What do you think about Electric Recording Company? $400 supposed to be the best. I have not had one yet. I really need one. Do you travel? I do travel. I haven't been traveling much since last year and the events, but I really want to get back to it. I was talking to some friends about it today. I want to drive out west again. What's your opinion on the Smiths? I do like the Smiths. I haven't like I don't really get like hardcore into them like some people do, but I like the general sound. I'm not a huge Smith guy, but I like it. If that makes any sense. I haven't really, it hasn't, I haven't caught the bug yet, but it's, we share the same last name. Uh, let's see. Oh my goodness. There's a weird question. Anyways, I'm not gonna respond to that one. What can I show you? Is there anything left in that attic? Seems like you pulled 1,000 cool records from there. I have pulled a lot more than 1,000, and there is still cool stuff in there. Um, the West is the best. The West is good, but the grass is always greener. When you're in North Carolina, it's kind of an enchanting land over there out west. So it's just a lot different than it is here. North Carolina is a really beautiful state, and if you're from out west, you definitely would love to see North Carolina. Are you into reading? Here's my thing with reading. I do read as much as I can. I do a lot of audiobooks because I am always so busy. If I sit down and I have enough peace and quiet to read, then I have enough peace and quiet to fall asleep. So I do a lot of audiobooks while I'm driving or something like that. So that I do read when I can, sparingly here and there when I have a minute to sit down and it's quiet, especially like in the mornings with coffee. Sometimes I'll crack open and read some things, but a lot of audiobooks. I'm a big fan of audiobooks. So seriously, if I'm sitting still, I will fall asleep. I have to be honest. Um, do you fix warp records? I have a flattener. I was gonna make a video about it, but I don't really want a ton of people coming in the shop asking me to fix their warp records because it doesn't always work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I don't want to. I don't even know how you would run a service because if you tried to flatten one and it didn't work, then you're out of all that time trying to flatten it. And I don't want to ask somebody to pay for a record that I couldn't flatten. So I don't know. The Led Zeppelin vinyl book by Ross Halfland. I need to get that. I haven't gotten it yet. I need to. Let's see. Have you ever heard of Ocean Grove? I've heard of them. I've never listened to them. Let's see. Recently bought Aretha Franklin record. Believe it's a first pressing. If I DM you, can you figure it out? I probably could figure it out, but understand there's like 1,000 people that DM me like, what pressing is this record? Best thing to do, look up the matrix number on Discogs because you have the same information I do. I look it up on Discogs because I don't know. So this is a record, random record. This is a Elliott Murphy Aqua Show. Decent. I would call it blues pop. But anyways, at the center of the label here, there's this space between the last groove and the label. That is what we call the dead wax. There's a number in there, and that number will tell you what pressing that is. So you type that number in on Discogs.com, or if you have the app, and it will tell you what pressing it is. More than likely, it'll get it right. So where did I pull this out from? Darn, it's right there. So anyways, I'm open to some more questions. Yeah, I'm gonna look at the same information you can online. So that's how you're gonna have to find it out. Let's see. Have you heard Spiderland by Slint? I think. Along. I don't know. I can't recall. Probably not. Why buy records when there is Spotify? I like records. So what? What's been your biggest disappointment when digging for records, such as you see a record you really want and there's a wrong record inside? That, or what's even worse than that is when the record inside is the right record and it's cracked in half. That happens sometimes. Bad condition, things like that. Yeah. So there's always that horrible feeling that you get when you find a cool record and the record's not right inside or whatever. That's hard to say. I don't really think much about the old songs I don't like. I just skip them. I like most songs. Hate what? Well, somebody asked if I find a lot of Robert Ludwig Zeppelin 2s. I find like a lot of copies of Zeppelin 2, so I'm bound to find a lot of Ludwig copies. I do find probably 8 to 10 copies a year. Any heavy grails on your want list higher than $1,000? There's one called Blueberry Pancake that's like a $10,000 record. That's probably the biggest one that I would love to have. But if I'm being honest, if I had that record, I would definitely sell it. I don't think any record to me is worth $10,000. Um, A thinks somebody said the Trouble Man I recommended is great. I do have Emmett Rhodes records. I love Emmett Rhodes. Somebody asked something I was gonna answer. I can't remember. Is okay. Being a shop owner, is it hard to decide what cool used records to keep personally versus sell? That is really hard. It's hard with everything I know. I'm like stacking up a lot of stuff at home, so I have to be very picky on what I keep. Somebody asked, the one I was gonna mention was what the best Zeppelin bootleg is. I'll show you. Man, I don't know where it's at. So Destroyer, the soundboard is really good. Um, and I don't know. There's a label called. Is it this label? No, it's not this one. That was the chair. That was the chair, guys. Dang it, where is it? There's a label called Waggle, Waggle, and it has a really good soundboard recording. So anything on there. Let's see. That's so funny. So somebody said that the first time they came in my shop, they were asking for the stuff I had on Discogs. And there's a lot of people on Discogs that have the word noble in their names, and none of them are me, except for I finally do have a Discogs account. It's just all one word, Dillon, Dillon at at. It's either Dillon at Noble Records or Dillon from Noble Records. I can't remember, but anyways, I have one now. Eric Weinbender, it's going good, man. Just busy, busy as all heck. You know how it is. How often do you use your record flattener? I keep it running constantly. I buy 1,000 records a week, so I get a lot of warped records. Not a lot, but just I mean, with that type of volume, you get them. So it's worth having it. I keep it running constantly. I flatten records every day. Let's see. Man, I don't know any. Hold on a second. I'm trying. It's hard to read. You know who's got it going on? Um, is Mike from the In Groove. You know, he's got his live stream going on, and like his wife like picks questions and asks them, so he doesn't have to sit here, and you don't have to hear him saying, what, like not like I'm doing. Like he's got it right. He's got a good live stream if you can catch him. Any crazy customer stories? Holy moly, that's a great one. A couple of years, well, maybe a year ago, I had a guy that came in and raised a ruckus pretty bad. Um, he had sold me some records and he wanted them back, but I'd already sold them. Hey, Mike from the In Groove. He said, "Funny time to tune in." Yeah, he's got a good thing going. I mean, he freaking bought George Benson's record collection, so whatever. I mean, how can you top that? So, anyways, he's a good guy. Do you secretly judge people when they purchase bands you hate or bad records? No, I do not secretly judge anybody. I don't judge anybody at all. If you like something, you like it. And if you judge someone for what kind of music they like, you're a bad person. Um, let's see. If you are buying 1,000 records a week, what's the average you spend on a decent dig? Man, it could be anywhere between. I mean, it depends. I mean, it depends. Some 1,000 records are, there's some good ones in there and there's some bad ones in there, and it's not much. But sometimes it's like 1,000 records and they're all killer, and it's like a lot of money. So it just depends on what. Favorite Chili Pepper record is Blood Sugar Sex Magic is the one I always gravitate to. Um, I always wonder. So like I know a lot of record stores do. Um, that they kind of will turn their nose up at you if you buy a Justin Bieber record or something like that. I just am really appreciative that you're buying a record from my shop. So why would I judge you for that? I don't care at all. If what you're buying in my shop, you're supporting me, so I'm grateful to have a job. So anyways, that yeah. So what can I show you? Oh, I will say this. Uh, Jeff Beck Truth just got this MoFi. What do you think of this mic? Mike is no stranger to the audiophile pressings. If there's a man on the internet that you have that has a knowledge of MoFi and audiophile things, Mike is that man. He knows a lot. Weirdest local record you found? Oh man, I found some doozies. Um, I found some weird ones. Man, wish I wish I was wearing the appropriate pants because I'm not. Um, Mike said, "Hey, this has Mike's stamp of approval." This Jeff Beck Truth has his stamp of approval. He says it's one of his favorites this year. So, anyways, yeah, I find a lot of weird records, um, local records and non-local records. Some real weird stuff. So, I have some weird ones, but I don't know where they are. I know where my good records are most of the time. I work at a record store in Kansas City. We had a drunk guy literally peed in one of our bins uh, filled with records. Oh gosh, that's bad. We had one guy take a dump on the floor in the bathroom once. That was real bad. People do some ridiculous stuff. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the guy that like a year ago, I ended up having to call the cops on him. I'd already sold the records that he wanted back, and he was freaking out and like in a real ugly way. So I had to. But I mean, on a regular basis, we have customers that do disrespectful stuff. The worst thing ever, not the worst thing ever, but one of the worst things that commonly happen is so like if you're in Walmart or whatever. I don't go to Walmart, but some people do. If you're in Walmart, you're on like a big box store or something, and you have like this jar of peanut butter or whatever, and you're like, I don't want this jar of peanut butter. What was I thinking? I got a jar of peanut butter at home, and you just throw it somewhere. You like put it on a shelf somewhere, and they're like, somebody will put it back where it goes. I will never do that again because people do that all the time. They're like, I don't want this Billy Joel record. What was I thinking? And they just put it in the classical section. And then somebody's walking through and they're like, this idiot doesn't know that Billy Joel's not classical. And then, so I walk around the store all the time and I'm finding like records all over the place that aren't where they're supposed to be. Like my store's not that big. Why don't you just put it where you found it? So, anyways, that's probably like uh, one of the worst pet peeves I have because it happens so much. You know what I mean? So, any store I go in from now on, I would never do that. I wouldn't do it at a record store, anyways. But I mean, even the big box stores or whatever, like, even though that's people's job, people are like, that's people's job to do that. Well, sure, but you don't need to make their job harder. Um, I'm new to collecting. How do you invest and get a good deal? You just got to dig, man. You got to look everywhere you can. Who would win in a fight, Towns Van Zandt or Hank Williams? This is the type of question I like. Now, I will say, depends on when this fight took place and how much alcohol either of them had. If they were both in their prime, I think Hank Williams would win. But Towns Van Zandt, in my opinion, better songwriter. Love Towns Van Zandt. Nothing against him, but in like a I just feel like he's more of a lover, not a fighter. I think Hank would definitely take it. I love those questions, stuff like that. Keep those coming. What is my opinion on cassette tapes? I don't have an opinion. I don't really listen to them. They're good for what they were when they were out. I don't know why people still collect them now, but what's up, Dylan? Are you aware of a prog album, Granny? Yeah, I showed it in like a recent video somewhere. Anyways, let's see. I could pull out my box of records that I brought home from the shop. Ever heard of Blaze Folly? I've not heard of Blaze Folly. Never heard of that feller. I have Blaze Foley in my collection. I love Blaze Foley. Do you like Leonard Cohen? I do. I think it's really inspiring that he released his first album when he was like 40. That makes me think I could still do it. Let's see. Turkish Psych from the 70s. I have a couple. They're all reissues, I think. Favorite artwork on an album? Odyssey and Oracle, Psychedelic Sounds, 13 Floor Elevators, stuff like that. What do you think of Funk Country? Love it. Biggest, man, you guys are really firing these off really, really fast. Okay, I'm going to show you some records. I haven't listened to this yet, so I probably shouldn't even show it. But this is Pentagram, Show 'Em How. I think this record came out like the mid 90s. And this is a different alternate cover, but they just reissued it. So I had to grab that because when I bought that metal collection, where is it? I bought that metal collection in December. I found this, Pentagram's first record, and this is a really amazing. It's a mix between like metal, like early 70s Black Sabbath type hard rock metal, and then like the late 80s metal. It's like a really weird mixture of a bunch of different types of metal. It's amazing, but really cool story. There's a documentary about Bobby Liebling, who's the lead singer of Pentagram. But I ended up posting this, and Bobby Liebling, I think he reposted on his Instagram that I had mentioned this record in my video, and I started talking to him a little bit. And he said he'd be on my podcast, but I haven't followed up with him, so I need to probably make that happen. But he told me he didn't even have one of these anymore. They're that rare, but really cool. So I'd gotten into Pentagram after that, so I'll just get their stuff. So let's see. Super chat option available tonight, is it not? Oh my gosh. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. It should. I don't know. You should super chat should be available. I don't know. Is it not? Did I miss somebody's super chat? I don't even know. Let me know. I don't know. What is the best memory you have of buying an album? That's tough to say. What's the weirdest place you've ever found records at? Oh man. Like a couple of years ago. Yeah, I think it was a couple of years ago. My son, I was buying something for my son on Craigslist for Christmas. It was like he's like super into DVDs, and so like he loves like those TVs that have like a DVD, like the old school like tube TVs that have like the DVD tray that comes out, and so he had one, but it's old, so it messed up, and so we were trying to give him another one. It was right near Christmas, anyways. So this guy had one. I mean, they're old, you know. So, and this guy had one, and I went to his house, and my wife was waiting on me in the car. So I was supposed to just go in this house and get this TV and come out. It was gonna take 2 seconds. So I went in, and I'm talking to the guy, and I see a guitar in his living room, and I'm like, "Hey, that's a guitar that plays music. Do you have any records?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, man, I got a bunch of records in my basement." And so I text my wife, and I'm like, "Hey, Emily, this guy's records in his basement. Guess what? I'm going down there to look at them, obviously." I didn't realize we had no cell service, and the text never went through. So I'm down there. Like, this guy worked at a radio station. He had like a ton of promos and stuff. I was like into it. Got a ton of records. So I come out with a giant stack of records this big, and I'm carrying them, and I put them in the back of the car, and I went back in and got the TV and all that stuff, and I get back in the car, and she's like, "I almost called the police. You were in there for an hour and a half." I thought they got murdered you. I was like, I wasn't in there that long. I'm always in there longer than I think I am. But anyways, that's a great story for you guys. Here's another one. What is the furthest you have traveled? And what's the furthest you'd be willing to travel? If I travel more than like 30 or 45 minutes, I'm going to need some substantial proof that this is really happening. That's the problem, is you don't want to drive a long distance for nothing. So there's a collection that I want to look at that's about 8 hours away. I'm trying to secure the deal to make sure it's for sure going to happen before I do it. So that's down the road. This is finally got a Daniel Johnston record. If you don't know Daniel Johnston, he is people deem him as one of the most important figures in lo-fi and independent alternative music. This is summer 1983. He struggled with bipolar disorder. He had a lot of things going on with him personally. He worked at McDonald's in Austin, Texas, and he was just a teenager, and he wrote a bunch of songs. Now, if you're a songwriter like me, I write songs sometimes, but they always suck. So I trash them. I'm just like, hey, this song is not a good song. So I've only had like a handful of songs that I think are really good enough to keep. And so there's just this demon in the back of your head that says, "No, you suck," and you just like ditch all these songs that are actually probably not that bad. Daniel Johnston didn't have that. He would just put out so much music, and all his songs are really simple, and so like the traditional listener, you wouldn't like this, uh, uh, but there's such an art to it that they're simple songs. They got a good melody. They don't have to rhyme, but they're like songs with no filter. They're just like you could tell that he didn't care if they were good. He just did it. So some of the songs are really good, and I just feel good when I listen to it. So I love Daniel Johnston stuff. It's weird. It's very weird music. But there is a documentary called "The Devil and David Johnston," and you definitely need to check that documentary out. If you haven't seen it, even if you don't like his music, that is an incredible, incredible documentary. Okay, do I enjoy '60s political folk? I don't enjoy political anything, but I do enjoy '60s folk. Do you remember a moment when you knew you wanted to have your own record store? Let's see. I was about 6 months old. No, I'm joking. I don't know. I always wanted one from the time I was a little kid, but it didn't become a reality until there was a certain moment to where I thought I might be able to do it, and then my wife was like, "You got to do this. You got to, you know." So she really pushed me to do it, and I probably wouldn't have done it on my own because it's so risky. But she kind of gave me the confidence to open it up and all that stuff. Um, but I heard a really good quote, and regardless of whether you're religious or not, it's an inspiring quote. Um, it is by oh my gosh, Emerson, Ralph Waldo Emerson, and he said, "Gosh, I shouldn't be quoting things. I don't know for sure, but the quote said, God's work will not be made manifest by cowards." So that, he meant that as, and then the continuing the quote, it said, God's work will not be made manifest by cowards. Always do what you're afraid to do, and the death of fear is certain. So when you step out and you really do something, regardless of you believe in God or what he meant is there's no greatness that will be achieved by a coward. You have to really jump out and do some things that are risky to do things that are special. So that's what that whole quote meant, and I like that sentiment. I that meant a lot to me when I heard it because you gotta you gotta really for me, I live in that. Like I really want to do things that make me scared, and it's like a lot of things I do is doesn't work. Like my podcast totally failed. Um, I tried it and I'm not good at podcasting. Whatever. Maybe I'll try it again. Who knows? I'm not putting podcasts out on my life or anything like that. But I think that you got to try a bunch of things. You know, throw a bunch to the wall and see what sticks. So not being afraid to fail is the key, in my opinion. It's a really cool Japanese rock record that I recently got from a buddy of mine. It's called, I think it's called Harmau. I don't speak whatever that is, but it is really good Japanese hard rock. Harmau. There's a catalog number on here, LTP 85017. You could probably find it on Discogs that way if you want to check it out. But very cool stuff. Hey, Jack's Tracks Records. Have you ever been to South Florida? If so, have you hit any of the shops down there. I have a video. Well, I don't know if it's South Florida. That's more like East Florida. But I have a video at Bananas Records. I've been all around there, and Jupiter and Vero Beach. I went all around there like a few years ago on vacation, hit some shops. Have you ever been to Banana Records? Yes, yeah. Um, but I did a video in there. It was pretty cool. It's crazy. It's like, what? They said they got 5 million records. That's a lot of records. Years and years. iPhone or Android? I have an iPhone, but it's just because I always have had an iPhone and it would just be too much trouble to switch. I have no loyalty to Apple. It's just the way it is. My brain is Apple, so I have to do it. I don't want to switch my brain out and short circuit or anything like that. I have no loyalty either way. I don't care. It's just that everything I have is Apple because I started off doing Apple and now I have Apple and then I have an iPhone. Everybody else has an iPhone. If you want to FaceTime somebody that don't have an iPhone, it's like, what are you supposed to do? So it's like, I don't care enough to change. Is what I'm saying. Best pressing of Zeppelin 2 in your opinion, man. I hate to just keep bringing up Mike of the In-Groove, but you got to watch his video. He did a shootout of Zeppelin 2s, and he's dead on. I mean, the man has like the nicest sound system of anybody I know. So, I do. I think his synopsis. No spoiler alert. I think his favorite was Ludwig, and I have to agree. I think it's how the record's supposed to sound. I have the MoFi. I do like the MoFi. I have the classic records pressing. It's pretty good too. How can I sell my album collection 3,200 plus? Send me an email, homie. Dylan at noblerecordstore.com. I will buy it from you. Thoughts on The Who? I like The Who. I don't love The Who. A couple of their albums I really like. My favorite Who album is Quadrophenia. Do you like Wolf Alice or Wolf Alice? I don't know how. I think it's Wolf Alice, but I'm not sure. I've listened to them. I do like what I've heard of theirs. Let's see. I'm trying to read all these. You guys are David Lee or Sammy and Van Halen. David Lee Roth. I mean, come on. Best Pearl Jam album is 10 versus No Code. I'm doing it in order here. I don't know. After that, they're all about the same. Can't find a good sounding Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. I don't know. Good luck. I don't even know if I have that record. After the first four, that's really where my lane is with Sabbath. How do you price used records for your store? As quickly as I can. I I mean I don't look up every record like I know what records are worth. Some of them I do look up. I do research, but I don't stick to like the Discogs median or anything. Discogs median's right about 60% of the time. So I don't know, whatever. Obviously, depending on the size of collection, are the loans often necessary to buy collections? I've never taken out a loan in my life. I had a car payment one time and I hated it. So I'll put that out there. I don't do that. Other than a mortgage, I don't like loans. I'm not saying I never would. I've never taken out a loan. I didn't take out any loans when I started my business, and I didn't take out any loans when I buy collections. So do the best I can with that. Heard turntables are increasing in price about $100. I've not seen anything about that. I don't know, but I'm not like into the turntable world that much. What vinyl grading standard do you use? Is there? I mean, I guess there's probably another standard if you're asking me, but the Goldmine standard is like the universal standard, I think. So, let me pull something outside of my box. This Samuel Prody. I don't know much about this. This is a Acid Nightmare reissue from the UK. Really good early 70s hard rock. Just got this from a friend. It's really good, incredible. This is a reissue. I'm listening to it to see how it sounds, but this is Ars Zachel. I do have an original Ars Zachel somewhere here-ish. No, that's Big Brother, but the cover looks the same. Anyways, incredible. One of my favorite psychedelic records ever. Incredible stuff. Let's see. Some of the stuff I don't know anything about. I finally got a first UK Rare Bird. Really good one. Best punk album ever, Black Flag. I mean, I am not enough of a punk connoisseur to really weigh in on that. My favorite jazz record is Blakey Moanin', probably. Between that and Lee Morgan the Cooker, probably one of those. No question, but pull out that original Josephus Dead Man. Funny, you should ask that. I don't have an original Dead Man. I have a reissue of it, but I have their self-titled original. Um, I haven't heard the new John Miller record. Um, I got my whole setup here. I don't want to move it, but I have a somebody asked for my whatever setup I have. Asked for the specs. I have a Peachtree Nova 150 clear audio concept with the MC cartridge and some silver audio or monitor audio silver 200s. Hey, love coming to the store. I'm the dude that always wears a beanie. If you remember, LOL. You're gonna have to be more specific. There's a lot of beanie users in my shop, but thanks for your support. Next time you come in, say I'm Beanie Guy, and I'll like, hey Austin, nice to meet you. Let's see. How do you keep all your albums straight on your shelf? Mine always slide back when I move. Uh, so they're straight because I have these. They're called backspacers that some lovely folks sent me, and I hate that I don't remember who it was that sent them to me, but they're very nice, the people that made them. But they're like a little thing that holds them in the back. So, do you sell any vinyl on Discogs? Yes, I have Discogs. If you follow me on Instagram, the link is in my profile on Instagram. But it's I think it's Dylan from Noble Records is my name on there. I think it's either Dylan from or Dylan at, but it's Dillon. From or at Noble Records, I can't remember, but it's got my logo like this on it. Oh my goodness. Do you have Spiegel and Shinky? I have a reissue. The originals are stupid expensive. Um, which Velvet Underground albums do you have? I've got them all. Favorite soundtrack? It's Back to the Future soundtrack is my favorite. I also really like the Interstellar soundtrack because of the use of the Moog synthesizer. Now, I have started saying Moog because that's how you're supposed to say it, apparently. Now, I've grown up my entire life calling them Moog because that's how it's spelled. Let's be honest, it's easier to say. It feels better to say. I don't know, but the real pronunciation is Moog. So, any Soundgarden albums? Yes, I have all the original Soundgarden albums. Let's see. What is that? Do you buy recommend any websites that you can buy vinyl overseas? I'm in China. I have no idea. I'm sorry. I wish I knew more. Oh gosh, you guys are really, really spitting these questions out. Have you ever listened to Ice Nine Kills? No, I've had the records in my store. I'm not a, I don't know that I would like that type of thing just from the judging a book by the cover. Okay, someone just found my. Thank you so much, Zach. You're the hero. He just found out that my username on Discogs is Dylan at Noble Records. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I don't even know my own username. We're getting there, guys. Can you show off your new chair? Like I said a little earlier, I'm not wearing real pants, so I can't stand up. But I mean, I am wearing pants. There's something going on down here, but it's not pants I want you to see, is what I'm saying. So, album that you regret selling. I had a Soundgarden. The only album I regret selling. I don't even want to say it. I had a Soundgarden Super Unknown. No, it wasn't Super Unknown. It was Bad Motorfinger. The original first pressing on gold or yellow vinyl, and it was autographed by the whole band. And I sold it because I quit my job and I needed some money. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. And I just kind of regret selling it because I sold it for pretty cheap. Let's see. Eric Weinbitter, you need to stop stirring up trouble. Good Lord. So Noah asks, I was going to say that. Do you regret selling the turquoise Zeppelin 1? I don't, because I had to. I had to sell it because I had no money. I was trying to open a record store. So I had to sell it. And the guy I sold it to is a really good friend of mine. And he wanted it. He'd always wanted one. And I was able to sell it to him. So, number one, I had to open a shop. So the trade off was totally worth it. Number two, it went to a really good friend of mine, and I'm super glad he has it. So, win win. Favorite NWOBH. I don't know what that means. Can you spell that out for me? I don't know what that means. Have you ever heard of the 1971 album Farm? Haha, very funny. Yes, it is my number one want in the world. It's Farm. Are you familiar with the post metal band ISIS? No, I'm not. Oldest record you have? I'm not sure. I've got some blue 78s. Yeah, Farm's rare. I will get it one day. Do you like the album Toad by Toad? You guys not know who I am? It's one of my favorite records in the world. I have multiple copies. Where is it? Somewhere on here-ish. I don't know. But let's see. Favorite modern artist band? I gotta say. Sorry, I'm looking up. I don't know. Anyways, David Ramirez is a great singer-songwriter. He's incredible. I love him so much. Jason Isbell's pretty good. I mean, he's amazing, but everybody knows about him. But for Psych, I love King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. The Black Pumas, yeah, they're great. I don't know. There's a lot of new artists and bands I like. It's hard to say. Let's see. I feel like I'm saying a lot. I hope you guys are okay with that. This is literally did not prepare. I literally was just sitting in my chair. I was like, "Hey, I think I'll go live," and that's where we are. What is the funniest record cover you've ever found? Hard to say. I don't know. First 45 I ever bought was Don McLean, American Pie. What is your favorite Steely Dan album? I'm not a big Steely Dan guy. So I would have to say, I don't know. What album do you love but you're embarrassed to own? I'm not. Oh, New Wave of British Metal. Okay, well, see, I don't know. Um, I'm not embarrassed by anything I have. I'm totally happy to have what I have. And if you ask like what I should be embarrassed about, probably. Let me see. I don't even know. So I don't know. Dang it. Where's all my stuff? I can only show what's within reach because I'm not standing up. Because pants, you know. When are you going to sell the Nipsey record? I already sold it. What's the biggest challenge in owning and operating a record store? The biggest challenge for me is probably the new stuff. New records is the biggest challenge because I don't care that much about it. I only like what I like. So, and I only know what I like. So I have to learn about records I don't care about, which is tough, you know. So that's probably the hardest part for me. For me, like the whole drive behind Eric, I'm gonna kick you out of this group if you don't stop talking about my pants that way. It's just hard. Like the whole drive behind. I love finding records, and so the new records that I don't know about. I hate buying records that I don't know about, and I don't know if people are going to be into them. Like, so I don't want to buy a new record and then no one buy it, and then I'm stuck with this record that sucks. You know. Do I like Krungbin? I love them. Great. Oh boy. So, type of customer you hate to deal with. I do not hate to deal with any customers. I like them all. checkout. Okay. Alex says, "Do you ever look at the Holy Moly wall and think, wow, I actually need that?" Yes, all the time. I really try not to keep too much, but I do keep probably more than I should. But there's definitely things in the store I'm like, that sticks around. I'm keeping it, and I do that sometimes. Um, do you like or have you heard of Tassuro? I have heard, and I have one record. Dylan, I'm just glad I got you a Christmas gift. You appreciate keeping. Thank you, Eric. I love it. How do you make a profit off of rare records? Do you obviously have to buy them for a high price? You don't have to buy them for a high price. Sometimes you find them and get them really cheap. But sometimes I do pay a high price for them. I I don't know. There's a whole thing. So sometimes I'll buy a rare record and make very little money on it, but I want to have it for my customers. So if I make a little bit, I'm happy. You know what I mean? I just want to have good stuff for people that come in the shop. So sometimes I have collectors that are friends of mine. They're like, "Hey, I'm selling off some rare stuff," and then I'll pay a lot for something, and then I'm just making a little bit, but it brings people in the shop knowing that there'll be good stuff. So that's where it's not all about money all the time. Sometimes, it's good that people like, hey, I could go in there and find something that I wouldn't be able to just find anywhere. So that's kind of a benefit. But honestly, if you bought a record and you made $1,000 on one record, that's great. But you're gonna make a lot more money on Billy Joel records and Heart records and Fleetwood Mac records because they sell so easily and so quickly. That's where you're in a record store. Your popular stuff is where you're gonna make most of the money. Even if you're only selling them for $5 each, they add up. So, and most people are not willing to pay $500 for a record. Some are, but most aren't. What is the most you've ever sold a record for? Not that much. I sold a record for 1,500 one time. It's the most I've sold one for. Do you look every day? Pretty much. The days I'm not in the shop, I'm out looking. Pretty much. Most expensive record you own or have in the shop? I have a couple heavy hitters. I may do a video. I have one box of heavy hitters, and if my house were to catch fire, and I were to be able to get all my family out safely, and I was going to run back in for one box of records, it would be this one. It's my Grail box, and you know, I may show that off one day. But I've got one. It's called Brief Encounter. It's a North Carolina funk album. That's probably among my top most valuable records. And then there is a one called Kingdom Come, Victor Perino's Kingdom Come. It's only sold like twice. There's only 150 copies. It's probably worth a good bit. If I were to put it up for auction, it would go for an obscene amount of money. But I got it for really cheap, and I really like it, so I'm keeping it for now, saving it for a rainy day. Um, you guys are spitting this out so fast. So are you saying you have a Robert Johnson 78? No, I don't. I almost had one once. That's a long story. Have you ever heard of Porcupine Tree? Yes, of course. I do like Porcupine Tree. Another band. I've listened to it. I like the sound. Never really sunk my teeth into them too much. How are your early days on eBay? eBay's kind of brutal, you know. I did eBay for like 8 years, and I just hated it. You're really at the mercy of the worst part. Here's the worst part about eBay. When you sell a record on eBay, let's say I sell this record, and I say this record is VG, has some wear on it. It's a rare record. It's a great record, but it's VG, and you can explain it till you're blue in the face that this is a VG record, and there's some noise between track 2 and track 3, and you could go into detail. You could put a sound clip in there. You could do everything and let that person know that that record is VG. They get the record in the mail, and they say, this record's not VG. This record is F or whatever. And it's all up for interpretation, and then you're at that person's mercy. Even though you are really clear about something, you're at their mercy, and then they're like, I want a partial refund. And you're like, well, no, just send the record back and I'll give you a full refund. And they're like, no, I'm going to send you negative feedback if you don't give me a partial refund for this. And so you're in this war with somebody. And eBay, there's all these people on eBay that are just the worst, and they will buy a record and they get it and they pick out something minuscule and then they try to get a partial refund, and it's like, man, just be honest. It's just, it sucks. Or one time, I don't even want to tell you that this happened because then somebody was going to try to do this, but somebody scammed me on eBay pretty bad with a record that I sold, and I had to refund them, and it was bullcrap, but it happens. So anyways, there's a lot of funny business on eBay, but sometimes you gotta sell on eBay. eBay is like anything, there's pros and cons. Uh, do you think that the vinyl revolution is a trend bubble? No. I think that, I mean, I was selling records 15 years ago. I mean, 12 years ago on eBay, and I was doing great. Like, people were buying records, and they weren't buying them for as much as they are now, but they're still buying them. I mean, and then nobody was collecting records. It wasn't a common thing like it is now. So I think that even if the popularity dies off, more records will become available, and so there will be more records in the, in the pool for everybody. So there will be, the prices will go down, but there'll be more available, and so there's more money to be made. Not as much per, but you get what I'm saying. Discogs is full of scammers, someone says. I don't doubt that. I never stopped collecting records. I never got the whole sell off the LPs to get CDs. That's good. That's good. I never did that either. Do you own any Tom Waits? Yeah, it's all the way over there though. I do. I do have quite a bit of Tom Waits. I'm trying to get all the early Tom Waits promos. I have a lot of them already. Gosh. Thoughts on Red King Crimson? That's a great album. I do like it. Roy Orbison's great. I'm not huge into Roy Orbison, but he is. Some of his songs are really good. Discogs is cringe. Amazon and eBay are way better. I wouldn't say Amazon's better than Discogs. That's a stretch. And best test pressing you own. I don't have many test pressings. I'm gonna pick out a really good question. Gosh. Psych Restory keeps telling me about Samuel Prody. I appreciate that. I see it. Hold on. What do I think of Mahogany Rush? Great. Love Mahogany Rush. Dylan, sounds like my Frank. Frank from Ohio. Thank you, man. I tried to call you today. I don't know if you got my message, but call me tomorrow. Appreciate you. Exactly, Frank. You're exactly 100% right. Hey, Presto. That's called identity fraud. What record have you bought in the last, I don't know. That made me feel like a kid. I don't know. That's tough. You guys are really firing these off. Well, thank you so much. Andy says Discogs has never let him down. What did I think of the George Benson record collection? That was a fascinating video. He's talking about Mike from the In-Groove bought George Benson's record collection. That was a great video. It was a feel good video through and through. Amazing that he was able to get that collection and that George Benson was such a nice guy. So yeah. Let's see. Ay. Any recommendations for psych reissue labels? I don't know. A lot of them are hit or miss. Like some releases are really good and some aren't. So it's hard to say. Hold on one second, guys. I'm gonna try to figure something out. Gosh, I don't know what I'm. Oh man, look at this. I can just really confuse you guys. I'm trying to. Someone said the super chat wasn't working. I don't know. I guess I messed it up. I'm not in this for the super chats, but everything helps. Hold on, gosh, I'm messing some things up. I'm just pressing all sorts of buttons. Anyway, it's got me stuck on this filter thing where I gotta pick a. Oh man, look at that! Always wanted to be a rock star. Now you're in an old timey movie. Okay, all right, we're gonna just go normal with this thing, and then okay, I figured it out. All right, so I'm back to questions now. Let me see. Don't know. Top chat. There we go. There we go. Um, Favorite vinyl YouTubers. Yeah, Bob Bradley, The In Groove. Oh my gosh, yeah, all good. Mazzy, you forgot Mazzy. He's great. Um, let's see. Got any rare Funkadelic in the store? No, man. The rare Funkadelic sells like that. Let's see. All right, I'm starting over. I'm tired of chasing questions. Let's see. Have you heard the 71 album first? Oh yeah, love it. So people keep asking about Record Store Day. I am in a real quandary about Record Store Day. I don't know what to do. So I'm not saying I'll never participate in Record Store Day, but I've shared my opinion on it millions of times, millions. Um, I don't do it because I don't want to do it. So Jacob Miller, you can. I don't want to publicly talk about that, but you can DM me or email me, and I'll tell you the story. Um, but Record Store Day is it's tough because it's just something that doesn't get me going. Like I don't care about it, and it's really hard for me as long as my shop's making money and I'm able to put food on the table. It's not like I don't need to be rich. Like I don't need to. Whoa, you guys still there? Holy moly! Sorry, I got a call. Um, so for me, it's like it's got to be like love looking for records and like learning people's wants and asking them what they need and like hooking them up and like just rescuing old records. Like I love that. New stuff I don't even really like that much. And so when Record Store Day comes around, I just dread it because I know it's like that's some people's thing and they love it and I'm all for that. Like if you love it, that's great. But for me, there's another shop in town, Lunchbox is like the big shop, and they get all the record store releases. These guys have been around since I think 2006. They're amazing at like knowing what to order, all the new stock, all that stuff. And when they record store all that stuff, and when they record store day comes along, they get everything. They get tons of everything. And so for me, I don't want to disappoint anybody. I'm not going to be able to get all the stuff that they get. So I'm just like, go there. I mean, if you want stuff, they're going to have it. They're going to have exactly what you need. And I don't want you to wait in line at my record store day and be really limited. And so I would rather just like let those guys that know what they're doing handle it, and I'll just stick to getting really good used stuff. That's my thing. So record store day, I have no like right now I'm not doing it just because I want to just focus on what I like focusing on. So um, I got to be honest with you. Uh, JJ says, "Did you snag the DG's record?" I didn't, and someone's explained to me what that record is, and I don't understand why it's gone up so much in price. I don't get it. I don't know. So, do you spell your name? I spell my name Dillon. Jacob. Yes, Lunchbox is killer for new stuff. I mean, he is so good. I was talking to him tonight, Scott. He's so good at like knowing what to get and knowing where to get it. And if he runs out of something, like he will find it. Like he's really, really good at it. So I'm like respect to him and like if you want new stuff that I don't have, go to him. He's if you can get it, he's got it. So What record stores do you visit around the country? I don't, you know, I don't go around. I haven't been around much, so I like Revilla a lot. I want to go to Princeton Record Exchange. Blah blah blah. I went to a bunch of shops in New York City. There's some cool stuff. But I don't go to a lot of other record stores. I want to. I just don't hardly have time. So I'll get back to you on that. I want to, work on going to more. We need like $800 for it. 12 years ago, or something like that. It was a lot of years ago. I don't know. And I've been driving it ever since. And it looks like it's been to hell and back, but it drives like a champ. So I mean, why upgrade it? I don't need to. It's a great little truck. I've bought a ton of records in it. And I have to ask myself, because, like, do I care what other people think? No. I'll pull up to, like, a fancy place, me and my wife would go, like, to some fancy restaurant or something, and I'm pulling up in my truck, and people look at me like I am just, like, this scumbag with this nasty old truck, and I just don't care. I love it. I love my old truck. It's been loyal to me. Why shouldn't I be loyal to it? I love my truck. So somebody asked me something. Oh yeah, Double Decker is one I really want to go to as well. I've not been there. So do I have a cool story about an LP or 7-inch getting signed? No. I've never been much for signatures. And here's the thing, like, if I see someone who's famous, I'm not gonna say, can you sign this? I would rather just somebody super chatted me. I thought the super chat wasn't happening. Thank you so much for that super chat. If you have a question, I would be open to answering it. How's the Noble Records comedy section? There is one. It's small, but it has all the heavy hitters, Do you sell 78 RPM records? Not really, unless they're rare or something, and I haven't gotten any good 78s in a while. Must have been a super chat test. Yes. So I guess no one likes me enough to super chat me, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But I mean, a dollar's a dollar. I'm down with that. I appreciate that for sure. So, if anyone else wants to test the super chat, see if it works, you can. I won't, fault you. I guess first time I did super chats, I was a lot of people super chatted me, and I was super excited about it. So, yeah, if someone could test super chat a million times, that would be great. So somebody asked, I don't know, if you could see any band, what would it be? Obviously Zeppelin. Honestly, I really would love to have seen Hendrix back in the day. Favorite horror soundtrack super chat from, oh man, I'm getting all sorts of super chats. Bring it, guys. Matt, my favorite horror soundtrack, I don't know. I don't really know any horror soundtracks. I'm not a big horror guy. That's, I listened to the Shining soundtrack. I had it like a few months ago, and I liked it. That's the only one I think I've listened to. I had the Halloween soundtrack. It was pretty good. Any OG MF Doom press? Not right now. I don't have any MF Doom right now, like OG stuff. I got a lot of reissues now because when he passed away, I ordered a ton of reissues, and then I got them all like after everybody already had them. So now I have an overwhelming stock of MF Doom stuff. Okay. So Nightmare on Elm Street soundtrack is good because Dawkins was in it. Okay, that's good. Favorite Black Sabbath album? Oh man, Ben, what is up, man? Thank you for your super chat. He says, if you ever make it to Mississippi in your travels, see if you can make it to the Little Big Store in Raymond, Mississippi. I will. I have been through Mississippi. I don't remember much about it because we didn't stop. We just drove straight through it. We were going a cross country trip, and we stopped at this hotel that we had a reservation on. It's supposed to be really nice. We got in there, Jackson, Mississippi. It was midnight, and it was like under construction. It smelled like really bad, and my wife was like, "Nah." So we hopped back in the car, got and then we kept driving to Louisiana. We stopped in Louisiana at like 3 a.m. It was a crazy thing. So, anyways, any burning questions? Really think about the good questions that you've been dying to ask me for all this time. I've got a headache, so I might roll pretty soon. Did I just get another one? Hold on. Oh yeah, Japanese pressings. ELO, vinyl me please. So I will say I have some Japanese pressings. Um, I've got a bunch of Zeppelin Japanese pressings. I've got gosh, I don't know. At one point I really did collect Japanese pressings, but I don't know that they're really all that in a bag of chips, as we used to say in the '90s. But yeah, I do have a few. Let's see. Where's my Bowie stuff? I know I've got some. I feel like I've got some Bowie Japanese pressings, if I remember correctly. There's a MoFi. A Bowie MoFi. I've got some somewhere. Sorry, guys. I'm amateuring it up here. Oh, my goodness. What do we got here? What's the worst smell? That was the worst smell ever. My wife super chatted me. Emily, that is her. She settles. So yeah, the hotel in Jackson, Mississippi. The smell. It was smelled like a wet dog covered in bleach and other things I will not say. But it smelled really bad. So we tried to switch rooms, and then and then we could all the rooms smell like that. Emily says the carpet was wet. Um, so Emily super chatted me. That's great. I appreciate that. So I just bought my own super chat, but I do appreciate it for sure. It's hilarious that she did that. But then we tried to go to another hotel in Jackson, Mississippi. Yeah, she says your money. I mean, it's my money either way, but I think YouTube takes a little bit, which is fine. Sometimes she has to do that to get my attention. But the other hotel we tried to stay in Jackson, Mississippi did not work out. It was super sketch. And then we um, ended up going to Monroe, Louisiana, which we did not know, or West Monroe or East Monroe or something. That was where Duck Dynasty was from, and we didn't even know that. We stopped in and we like slept it off, and then the next morning we were like drove down and like there's the Duck Dynasty building and all that. So of course we went and bought some like cups and stuff. So, anyways, but then, oh yeah, so me and my wife, Emily, if you're still on here, Ben says that absolutely sounds like a proper Jackson experience. It was rough. I was like, I will never go back to Jackson, Mississippi. But Emily and I are gonna do some videos together here pretty soon. We're working on some material. I need to have Emily back on the channel because she hasn't been on in a while. I've had Jeremy and Dom, but I haven't had a good Emily episode in a while, and she's the best. So someone says Duck Dynasty is Garbo. I don't know. I'm indifferent. I'm not a huge Duck Dynasty fan, but like we were driving past it, so we're like, yeah, we'll go in. We're right here at it. Why not? Mike says I look like the Duck Dynasty guy. I've heard that millions of times in my life. I don't care for it, but I don't not care for it. I'm indifferent. I don't care. A beard's a beard. That's like, I don't know. Anyways, beards, Dylan, Duck Dynasty, ZZ Top. Yes. So people are like ZZ Top, Duck Dynasty. It's extremely, offensive. I take a great offense to it that you would generalize me and assumed that I'm a beard man. I'm trying to read all these. How hard is it to keep a beard? It's pretty easy. You just don't shave it. Don't know if you'll see this, but love the vids. Keep them up. Keep it up. I watch them every day on work break. If I'm ever in the Carolina area, I'll check out the store. Nathan, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I try. Oh man, that's the chair. The chair, it does have a flagellant sound. Eric Weinbender says he's about to have a better beard than me, which I'm fine with. You deserve it. More power to you. One day I'm going to shave it completely, and then no one's going to even know who I am. What is the weirdest critter to ever come out of the beard? I don't have any critters in my beard. Okay, I wash my beard. Someone says sit on a towel. I think that's you're talking about fixing my flagellant sound. But see, here's the thing: if I ever want to actually fart, then I can just blame it on the chair. That's a secret. Don't tell anybody that. I'm joking. I never pass gas ever. Emily can back me up on that. That never happens. I'm a complete gentleman. She's never even heard me break wind. This is one of my favorite channels. So wholesome. Keep it up. What's your favorite sounding records you own? Well, I always talk about my Ultra Disc One Steps. They're the best sounding records I have. And then the Jimi Hendrix Experience UHQR is really good. So, anyways, somebody said Emily's going to super chat again because I said I never pass gas. That is a joke. I do pass gas, just like any other person. Dylan must be under 50 because I have to break. Dylan must be under 50. Okay, so you're saying that when you get over 50, you have to break wind all the time? First of all, I am under 50. Thanks for noticing. Oh man, that's a great idea, Noah. He says I need to make a chair. Emily said I plead the fifth. Someone says I need to make a shirt that says that was the chair. That is a great idea. I probably won't do that, but it's a good idea. I like it. I like t-shirt ideas that never come to fruition. I'm okay with that. Just wait till I reach 65. Would I travel overseas for a record collection? It would be hard to get back, but I'm down for anything. I won't say I would never. Yeah, man. Thanks for. Mike said I put him onto the 13th floor elevators. MC5, The Remains. Man, I'm glad. I'm glad you like it. We don't have a dog, so I can't blame the dog. How many chairs do you have to go through before it's really you? I don't. I don't ever. And if I were to, I would edit it out. Except for my live, I guess I can't edit it out. But anyways, best record stores in North Carolina. I don't know. I mean, Lunchbox is good. Like I said, Lunchbox is really good. And I don't really go. I know there's a lot of good stores in like Raleigh and Winston-Salem and stuff like that. I don't go up there much. I need to, but I don't go up there much. Uh, Biggest positive surprise about operating a record store? I mean, see, the pros and cons, the best and worst things about running a record store are people. I like meeting people. I love meeting people. I love getting to know people. I love chatting about music all the time. Like that is like the biggest plus for me. I love just getting to know people, and I love hearing stories. I love it so much. But also, the worst thing is people. Those people are terrible. But those are few and far between. The hardest thing is making everybody happy because everybody's always going to be mad about something. So, but that's 5%. Then the other 95% are completely kind and pleasant people. What's your favorite Genesis album? I don't know. I'm not a big Genesis guy. Aaron said, "My wife said to tell you thank you for turning us on to Carole King. We found out we found Tapestry a week or two ago after you talked about the album. Man, that's a great one. You're welcome." Have you ever been to Canada? I've never been to Canada. Emily's been to Canada. I've never been. I've been to South America. A good bit of coverage in South America, but I've not been to the Great White North. Oh man, do you think? I don't know. I don't know Olivia Trimmer. I don't know her. Um, Best Black Sabbath album. I don't. Oh, somebody asked that before. Man, it's hard. It's really hard. It's between. I want to say a couple, but they're all the first four. It's the first four. I mean, they're all perfect. You can't, you know, Master of It's between the first one and Master of Reality, but then Paranoid's really good and Volume Four really good. It's hard to say. Um, oh oh man, I'm trying to read these as fast as I can. Pick out the ones I want to answer. Somebody super chat me something good. I need like a $500 super chat. That would make my day. Sabotage. Do you collect any 45s? Well, you know what? That's a great question. Let me show you some 45s. I've got my little 45 box right here. What do you think of Love? Love is a great band. It's one of my favorite psychedelic bands. So some of these I added on Discogs for sale because I'm not like, I love them, but I'm not in love with them. These Grateful Dead, really cool Grateful Dead 7 inches. I put those all, they're all sealed like Record Store Day or something. And I put those all on Discogs for sale, so they're competitively priced. I do collect some 45s, like this one, this Rano, that's on Vertigo. This is Mick Ronson's band. I believe it. Isn't that right? Anyways, really good. Like early 70s hard rock. Tough to find. He didn't put out an LP, so thank you for that $1 super chat. I appreciate it. Those are very appreciated. You can send a question. Let's talk about the Sandstone record from Double Deckers if you can, or Double Decker Records if you can. The Sandstone record is so good. I talked about it in one of my videos before, but really good. I don't know where it's at. It's around here somewhere, but Pennsylvania, folk psych. I think they only made 1,000. Hold on, Mike from the In-Grooves in the house. Does your wife find it necessary to treat herself to a nice purse or pair of shoes every time you bring home a high dollar record? That's a great question, Mike. My wife's not a big shopper. She's not a big purse and shoes lady. Now she will. Oh, that reminds me. She's wanting to buy a rug for our living room because we need a nice rug, and so she's more into like the home decor type stuff. But we don't really keep score. She's pretty understanding that all my records are potential inventory. Yes, exactly. My all my records will eventually be sold for a profit. That's it. One day I will sell all my records, or I'll pass them down to my sons. Either way. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm looking. I'm reading a message I was getting from Too Many Records. Was sending me a message on Instagram. But yeah, so she does. We don't really keep score. When she wants something, and she needs it, I'm like, let's do it. And she's not a big like. She's not super into like purses and like fancy shoes and stuff. She she likes like I bought her a really nice couch recently, and then like rug is like I'm getting her a rug that she really wanted, and there's certain things that she does like, but it's not like you got that now I got to get this. We both have an understanding. Like I know that I'm blessed with a lot of records that I really love, and so I try to return the favor without any sort of So, anyways, so going through, this is a really cool 13th floor elevators. May the circle remain unbroken, and I'm gonna love you to white label promo. Pretty sweet. Chris Schultz says, Tone Poet's a good place to start with jazz. Absolutely. Hold on, Bill Swift's in the house. Do you ever go out into public without the hat? Bill, he is a funny thing about Bill is, I don't know if you even know this, Bill, but the first time I ever sold my collection, Bill bought my first record I ever sold back like, I don't know, 10 plus years ago. And I think it was Pink Floyd The Wall. So he was my first customer. So Bill, thank you. But what were you asking? Oh, the hat. So here's the thing. I don't have great hair. It is thinning since I am an old man now. So I don't usually leave home without the hat ever because it's just better when I have the hat. I'm on the verge of just shaving it all off and just having bald head, but Emily doesn't. I've still got enough to warrant having some hair. Here's a really cool Japanese. I don't even know what song this is. Is that bad? Anyways, because it's one of these days. Japanese. This is Pink Floyd. Here's another Pink Floyd Japanese. This is a Zeppelin EP, kind of rare. This is the Zeppelin one everybody wants of the Hey Hey What Can I Do? Here's another Zeppelin. Good Times Bad Times. Rock and roll Japanese. So I got a lot of Zeppelin stuff. This is like French, I think. There's another one, Black Dog. That's another one. Pretty. Living, Loving, Made, and Heartbreak, or Whole Lot of Love, and Living, Loving, Made. This one is Dire Maker or Jamaica, whichever way you want to say it. All these are Zeppelin. A friend of mine collected all the Zeppelin Japanese 7 inches, and so he sold me his collection. So I've got quite a few here. Wow. And then this was like one of the more iconic EPs. This acoustic EP. I think this was only in Australia. I can't remember. But anyways, it's called Acoustically. It's their acoustic songs from Zeppelin 3. And so I got something like, ooh, this is my first record I ever had in my life. That 45 I was talking about, American Pie, Don McLean. My mom bought this for me when I was a little boy. It's the first record I ever had. So really special. So this is my little box of 45s. The rest of them are pretty unremarkable. So anyways. Any burning questions that you have to ask? Because I'm getting tired and I need to go down and hang out with Emily before we go to sleep tonight. Mighty Baby reissuing their first album. I didn't know that. It's great. So I am gonna show a couple more records. You guys send me some super chat or something. This is a really nice, beautiful copy of Music from Big Pink. It's the black label. It's like the cleanest copy imaginable. It's in the shrink with the sticker. I found a sealed copy once, but was the Magic Sam I just got an OG? No, it was not. It was like a reissue, but it was still a promo somehow. Kind of weird. What's another one I was going to show you? Where the heck did I do with it? It's right here. What is wrong? Oh, here it is. So, this is Pink Floyd Saucerful of Secrets, the original US in the shrink, perfect shape, incredible. I've never heard of this. This guy's name's J.D. Simo, S-I-M-O, Simo. I don't know. This is really good, modern day. Like when you put it on, you think this could be like 70s hard rock. Very good electric guitar work on it. Let's see what else. I got a bunch of African records that I need to show, but I gotta listen to them and analyze them first because, anyways, this is a autographed tour only. Zakk Wylde. Hold on, let me pull it out so you can see it. This is Zakk Wylde live in Detroit. I got this from a friend of mine. This is autographed live in Detroit, purple vinyl. They only did the purple vinyl on tour, I think, and it's autographed and everything. So that's pretty cool. I bought that from him, and I do like Zakk Wylde. So that is kind of a little cool one I haven't showed yet. Has your music changed in the past 10 years? Absolutely. It has changed dramatically in the past 10 years. There's so much music that I know of now that I had no clue about 10 years ago. There's music I know about now that I didn't know about 10 months ago. So it's always changing. But yeah, for sure, there's always... 10 years ago, let's see, I was 23. I was just getting into like the obscure stuff, so I didn't have any idea. I thought King Crimson was obscure 10, 15 years, 10 or 11 years ago, probably. So, anyways, all right. Well, I am gonna split. Um, what do I have to do to get you into more jazz fusion? I'm into jazz fusion. What are you talking about? I don't show a lot of it, but I do. It depends on what it is. Depends on what it's being fused with. You know, what percentage would you retail pay for a record you will resell? It depends on, like, so, like there's record. Okay, so there's like records that are really niche, collectible, but only collectible. Man, buddy, what are you doing? It's past your bedtime, man. Are you gonna come see me tomorrow? Um, but there's some records that are expensive records, but they're really rare, and the collectors aren't really out there. There's not a ton of collectors for it. It's very niche. So let's say it's worth $100, but there's not that many people in the world that want it. So then you've got it. You got to find the right buyer for it, and then you might have that record for a year before you find the right person. So you put it. Sorry, I'm reading stuff. You put it on Discogs and it sits forever. So you don't want to pay like 80% of retail for something like that, because like you pay $80 for a $100 record that you're going to sell a year from now. That's not worth your time. So, but if you there's like this really rare record, like uh let's say it's Velvet Underground or Nico or something like that, to where it's going to sell immediately. That's the type of thing you might pay more for, because you're going to have it for a less amount of time. So it depends on the record, all that stuff. Thank y'all so much for the live stream. We will